everybody, it's Carla the Bubble Lush, and today is October 10th, 2010. We are 3 weeks postpartum, but today we are going to film our 1 week postpartum update. I tried filming this earlier, and Hannah was freaking out through the whole thing. So I just nursed her. Hopefully she'll kind of be relaxed during this video. But you never know. She's been cluster feeding all day, so so let's try to get through this. Okay, so this is my This is my 1 week postpartum update. It's mainly just about everything kind of I went through in the first week, and I'll be filming a 2 week update on Hannah either today or tomorrow, depending on how everything goes. Hi. Hi. We don't usually give her a pacifier. Sometimes she takes a Soothie when she goes in the car. I happen to have this Nook, and earlier when I was trying to film this and she started crying, I offered it to her and she kind of sucked on it, so I might give her a pacifier in the middle of this, but usually I don't. Unless she's in the car seat. You like Soothies in the car seat. Bless you. There's the second one. Okay, so let's get into it. Hi, you want to rock with Mama? Get comfy. Alright, so she was born on a Sunday, so the weekly updates will go from, first thing Sunday morning till Saturday night. And as soon as I start filming, my nose always starts itching. Yes. Yes. Hi. You're such a good girl. Okay, so I was in the hospital from Thursday morning to Wednesday afternoon, so almost a week. It felt like forever. If I could go back, I would probably stay until Thursday just to get some more assistance, more help nursing, and a little more time to relax. However, we had been gone so long, all I wanted to do was get home. So it worked good for the situation. It worked well for the situation that we were in, but if I had had a quicker labor, I would have probably stayed longer. So anyways, we were discharged Wednesday at noon, and so the first week kind of divides itself. The first half of the week was spent in the hospital, and the second half was at home, trying to survive. So it's a little disjointed. The first couple days were in the hospital were kind of tough because my vitals were being taken every 4 hours, and her vitals were being taken every 4 hours, but they were on a different rotation. Plus at midnight they came and they take all the babies and they bring them to the nursery to do the weights and measures and everything, and plus she would wake up in the middle of the night to try to eat. So I was sleeping maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I'd be woken up for some reason. So it was really hard to get any sort of rest in the hospital, and I'm actually surprised that I fared as well as I did. I think I was just running purely on adrenaline. Yeah. Once we got home and she didn't have the constant interruptions, she, for the first couple of days, she had a really good schedule of waking up at midnight, 4, and 8, and it was like clockwork. I guess she liked those every 4 hours, huh? But it was really great because we were able to kind of recharge our batteries. So sleep wasn't as bad the second half of the week. I wanted to talk real quick about pain medication when I was in the hospital. When I was first in recovery, I still had my epidural in, and I was surprised that it didn't do anything. They must have turned it way down or changed it or something. I have no idea, but it wasn't doing anything. So I requested that they use something different, and I don't remember what it was because I was on pain medicine. But it was through my IV, and there wasn't a constant dose, but I could push a button every 6 minutes and dose myself. And that did a really great job of taking away any kind of pain and discomfort, which was wonderful. The only bad thing was that I had to dose myself every 6 minutes, which was like fairly often. So if I fell asleep, I wasn't dosing myself, and I would wake up and I'd be in pain because I hadn't been getting any pain medicine. So And then it would take like an hour and a half to get kind of caught back up, and then I would fall asleep again. So once I switched to the oral pain medicine, where they would just bring it in a little, a couple pills in a cup every 4 hours, that was a much better way of dealing with the pain medicine for me. So, just my experience. About 20 hours after I delivered, they started doing the Lovenox injections, which, if you don't know, that's because I have factor V clotting disorder. So the Lovenox is a blood thinner because after delivery, you're more susceptible to blood clots. So they're putting me on blood thinners to try to prevent that. It's a shot that I take in the abdomen or in my love handles once a night for 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. The injection itself doesn't hurt, but when you're injecting the medicine, it really, really stings and burns. So thankfully my husband is willing to give me the shots, and I just pout the whole time because it sucks. It sucks. I even have it on my notes. Lovenox sucks. It does. When I was in the hospital, I had a C-section. So, yes, we had a C-section. Yes. Good girl. You're being so much better this time around. Thank you so much. Because of the concern for blood clots, I had these compression leggings on, and basically what they are is they're like these, oh gosh, I don't even know, pads. It's like looks like if you had like a heating pad or something and you wrapped it around your legs and then velcroed on, so you had like these things wrapped around your legs. I don't know. And they rhythmically inflate with air. So it's like your calves are getting massaged by like squeezing them and manipulating them and stuff. So I had to wear those whenever I was laying in bed, and I didn't mind them at all. I thought they were really actually pretty comfortable. Yeah. And, but I noticed that, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was really starting to retain a lot of fluid. And by the time I got home, Thursday, Friday, my feet were more swollen than they had ever been at any point in the pregnancy. They really looked like Fred Flintstone feet. They were awful. I was drinking a lot of water, and Chris was nice enough to massage them. And you could tell it really creeped him out because he could like feel the fluid moving around my feet. It was disgusting. They were so big that I made the joke that I was afraid they were going to get stretch marks, but really that was kind of a concern. The edema was kind of all over. I also had a lot of swelling in my areolas, which was weird, and it further complicated breastfeeding. So I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but at 1 week postpartum, breastfeeding was awful. I didn't enjoy it. In fact, I like lived in constant fear of her waking up and being hungry, because it was just like, I felt guilty for not breastfeeding her, and for giving her a bottle of expressed breast milk. But trying to latch her on was so painful that it just kind of turned me off from the whole experience. So, everyone on Facebook, they really encouraged me to stick with it, and of course I was going to, because in the hospital we had problems breastfeeding. I didn't have a very good supply of colostrum. The first day I pumped when she was in the NICU, and I had ½ ounce, which was great. That's quite a bit. And then Monday, I was able to latch her on, and when she nursed, she had kind of a little milk mustache, so she was getting something. But Tuesday and Wednesday, I would pump for 15, 20, 30 minutes and get nothing. I would have to break the pump apart and use a little syringe to suck up droplets that were kind of in the parts of the pump. And I was giving her like 5 droplets of express colostrum every 2-3 hours. I mean, it was ridiculous. So we supplemented with formula, and thankfully my milk came in on Friday, so when she was like 5.5 days. And so for Friday on, we didn't have to supplement anymore. So that was good. I never expected to have to supplement with formula, and some of you will probably say, you didn't have to, but I had a 9.5 pound baby that was starving, and even the nurses that hospital doesn't really love the idea of formula feeding. They really push for breastfeeding, and even they were saying you need to supplement because she's hungry. So we did. We made the decision as parents to supplement with formula. Yes, and I gave her as much colostrum as I could. on Friday when my milk came in and supply was no longer an issue, it was such a blessing because it was such a big weight off my shoulders. I finally could pump something and give her a bottle, and so that was kind of like one little victory. But latching on was still so difficult because my nipples were just destroyed from trying to nurse her when I didn't have any colostrum, and then they were so swollen from all the edema. So we just kind of made the decision to use the pump and express as much breast milk as possible and give her bottles, and just slowly work on increasing the number of times a day that I breastfed her until, you know, it was the majority of the time she was being breastfed. So just kind of a sneak peek at the 3-week postpartum update. We are still breastfeeding, and it is a million times better. So if you are a new mom and you're having trouble breastfeeding, like, it's okay. It does get better. It gets a little bit better every day, and I know that it's really discouraging, but if you stick with it, it really will get better. Both you and the baby will learn how to do it. Isn't that right? Yes. So, the first week was also extremely emotional. I think it was obviously hormonal. There was also a lack of sleep, and, you know, holding this baby that we had been trying for 2 years, and just kind of how crazy the whole labor and delivery was, and she was just so perfect, and, you know, we were just really, really emotional. So that kind of calmed down, but that first week, I mean, I could cry at the drop of a hat, so yeah. And thankfully Chris was still on paternity leave. You know, by the time she was born, he had already been on paternity leave for 3 weeks, because he started, he left work when his parents came out on our due date. So yeah. So he had already been on leave for quite a while, and luckily was able to take off 2 weeks after she got here. But having him here that first week was a necessity, really. With the C-section, you know, it was hard to stand up when I was sitting on the couch. It was hard to get in and out of bed. Getting in and out of the car, you know, I sat in the back seat with her, was surprisingly difficult. And it was just because of this. I pulled a stitch right on the very edge, I guess the outside edge, and then like the next day I pulled a stitch on the other side, and it really hurt. So I was in a lot of pain, and getting in and out of cars hurt a lot. Yes. Another surprising thing that I don't think really many people talk about is after you deliver, the nurses, you know, besides asking how often have you breastfed and how many dirty diapers has she had, they always ask, you know, have you had a bowel movement yet? And the answer was no. So along with my pain pills and Tylenol and stuff, they were also giving me stool softeners. And I didn't have a bowel movement until, I think, Friday morning. So it was a long time, and it was like scary. I imagine if you had a vaginal delivery, especially if you had any sort of tearing, the fear of a bowel movement would be even more concerning. But I think just when you go that long, it was a little scary. It was also a momentous occasion. Mommy was very excited. So that's one thing fun to look forward to. And also, you know, with the epidural and everything, I had a catheter. And so, like, peeing for the first time after you have the catheter removed, that's kind of a weird experience too. It's like learning how to pee all over again. And let's see, what other notes? What did I miss? I mean, the first week was just kind of crazy. There was, I think the majority of the issue, I mean, she's a fabulous baby, and you're a fabulous baby. And especially when the first couple of days, I mean, she was no problem at all. She only cried when she was, you know, tired or hungry or trying to poop. Yes. She didn't even really cry when she had like a wet diaper or anything. So she was very laid back, very easygoing baby. Yes, very good baby. And you know, the main stress of that first week really was the breastfeeding. Yes. But once the water weights, I started losing that water weight, on Sunday, when she turned 1 week, I got on the scale and I weighed less than I did when I got pregnant with her. So that was very, very exciting. I gained 11 pounds with the pregnancy, and the week after she was born, I lost almost 12. So most of that was you, and then, you know, later I would lose more weight. But that was very exciting that it took me 1 week postpartum and I was back under pre-pregnancy. So that kind of made everything all worth it, didn't it? Yes. So, oh, and one more thing. When they discharged me, I just was discharged on Wednesday. Before they would let me leave, they had to remove the staples. And I hadn't done any research on this because I hadn't expected to have a C-section, obviously. No one does. Well, very few people do. And so I asked the nurse what having the staples removed felt like, and she said it felt like a bee sting. And I was like, well, how many staples are there? She's like, a lot. And I was like, great. So I was expecting, you know, like 25 bee stings, but it didn't hurt bad at all. She had these kind of like scissors, and she cut the staple and then would remove each half of it, and I didn't feel it at all. I could hear it, but I didn't really feel it. And apparently, according to my husband, they did a great job with the incision. It's located like right in the crease of my pooch. That's what he says. So I couldn't even really see it. I was still a little swollen in the belly. I still kind of am, but I was bigger then. And, you know, it was up underneath, so I couldn't really, I could see the strips of tape that they replaced the stitches with just to kind of hold the skin together. But I never really saw the incision itself. So Chris was the one that had to kind of inspect it to make sure it wasn't oozing or anything, and it wasn't, thank goodness. And he said it looked great and you could barely even see it. Yay! So I think that was about it. Hannah, you did such a good job. You did so good. I was watching back the first take of this, and it was like she was crying all the time, and the sun was really, really bright, and so she looked all washed out, and oh goodness. So once I try to get this edited and uploaded and everything, kind of depends on her. Like I said, I'm going to film Hannah's 2-week update, which will be all about her, and have pictures and footage and stuff of her first 2 weeks. And then I'm also going to film a 3-week postpartum update on me, so like how things went during the 2nd and 3rd week. Okay, and I think that's probably going to be how it goes. Every other week will rotate. There will be a 2-week, you know, the past 2 weeks update on Hannah with some pictures and stuff like that, and then on the off week I'll just do some random video about life. So I hope that works for everybody, and thanks for being patient. She's kind of a handful, even though she is a fabulous baby. I really do have it easy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. You want to say bye? What are you staring at? What are you staring at? Hannah. Oh, you want to sit up? Hi. Hello. Hi. You're zoning out, huh? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Brown fuzzy bun. Let's go. Hi. Woo, woo, woo.